Hi everyone, it's Adrian Pangilinan here, and welcome back to Soul Supremacy, where we talk about all things unapologetic, all things passion, and in pursuit of. And welcome to episode 5, featuring my good friend Laray Egea Saez. There you go, I finally said her name right. Laray Egea Saez. And I'm super thankful for her to be here, where we will talk about her journey as a dancer, a dance artist, and how she's ultimately used this craft, her passion of hers, to really overcome and face her adversities. And without further ado, let's bring her in, Miss Laray. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today? How are you feeling?
I'm doing all right, thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
uh,
Nice. Well, welcome again, and thank you, for wanting to be here. So just a little bit of context on Laray. Laray is a dance artist who graduated from San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts and also San Diego State University. Literally the two schools that I went to. So we've known each other ever since, and how do I even describe this beauty, this gem, this sunflower ray of light? Uh, she's she's amazing. She's amazing. Ever since I met her at SDSU, in which I'll ask you later in the question, in the interview. But she is someone that I truly respect as a, not only as a dance artist, but as a person in general. And she's my person to go to in all sorts of creative outlets, whether we were making dances, dance films, or even now photography. She's my muse. She actually was the model that I used for Vogue Italia, their photo Vogue online hub that they have, in which we got in with her photos. So that is just a little bit of who Laray is. And yeah, so let's get started. So we're gonna get started with 5 icebreaker questions. So are you ready, or are you ready?
I'm
She ain't ready.
ready.
She is not
I'm
ready.
not
But
ready.
it's okay. We're gonna continue. No, just kidding. Okay. So, Lorray, what are 5 facts about you that people would not know from a first glance?
Oh my gosh, this question. Um, First one would be I may come off a little bit intimidating or like the resting bitch face. Um, that's not who I am. So that's just one of them. I just seem a little intimidating, but I'm not really. Second one would be that I kind of am a crazy cat lady, kind of. Um, Third would be, I guess, I seem very, I don't know, like kind of, what's the word? Like timid?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's just me. I get socially awkward sometimes. Um, there's how many? Five? Four?
Mm-hmm. Two more.
Two more. Fourth one would be I am trying to be more into my fashion side. Um, and the fifth one would be that um, I have a birthmark on my face. It's something that you probably won't notice from afar, but until you see me up close, it'll be something a lot of people recognize first. Um, but it's not to say that I feel any less of a person having a birthmark. It's definitely something that I personally love having. I think it makes me unique, and I wouldn't want to be myself without it. So yeah,
Yes.
shout out to people with birthmarks. Don't feel afraid to.
Yes. You know what too? I actually didn't. It's funny because we went to college together, or we finally met in college. Actually, I was like always so up close to her and everything, but I've never seen her the birthmark that she was referring to until like way later, and she was actually talking about it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, it gets lighter throughout like growing up. I guess the cells in it like changes
Mm,
color
mm-hmm,
depending on like it's like if your face is dirty, then it's gonna be dirty if it's not dirty. But yeah, it's changed over time. It's not as I guess super deep as it used to when I was younger. But it's definitely something that I've always just had to, I think about just because, a lot of people, when you have like acne and stuff like that, you think that's the first thing people will notice. And it's like, yeah,
mm-hmm,
acne, whatever, if I'm having a really bad day. But it's mostly been my birthmark because I just been bullied by it growing up.
mm,
So, yeah. But,
yeah.
yeah, something you
I have a
work with.
I do have a follow up about on that later through your advocacy with like self love and being unapologetic later in the interview. Okay, so next question: introvert or extrovert?
I can't be both. Um, I think I'm always going to be an introvert at heart. Um, I, as much as I like to be very like adventurous and like want to go do stuff, I'm very like, I like to be in a comforting space. I like to be safe, I guess. I don't always like to go out of my comfort zone, so I think introvert is definitely something that I've always will be.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, next question: SDSU or SCPA?
Um, SCPA because uh, it really just brought out the drive of what I wanted to do with my life, the dancer in me. Um,
Mhm.
it really just resonated or it just hit me like
It's resonated.
whatever resignated. Everybody's
Resignate
gonna hate.
means to reside.
Um, my bad.
Just to clear it out, everyone.
It's just something that's always. Well, I knew I wanted to dance, but like I didn't really know until high school when
Mm,
I felt it in myself where I was like, "Oh my God, I love this." Like
okay.
it's not like I just want to do it just because you see somebody else do it. Like it's it's the feeling I got at the time.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, next question. TikTok or Instagram?
Um, it's sad to say TikTok just because I don't want to say it's sad to say, but I just never imagined myself to be on such a platform. Um,
TikTok
but
loves you though. Well, actually, Instagram loves you too. Both platforms love you.
yeah, I think both are kind of even when it comes to like I guess engagement. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel the less well, I think TikTok I feel less pressured just because it's video and Instagram it's pictures, so I feel like I have to present a certain way, like I'm making like a painting of myself or something, where it's like I have a specific structure and then I get too stuck in my head of like, is this gonna look good? Or TikTok, it's like you just have way more fun and freedom with it. There's really
Mm-hmm.
no like it doesn't have to be picture perfect.
Yeah, because too, it is. I mean, it's kind of been there for a while, but it's on the newer side too. So the pressure, or not even the pressure, or the that pressure, you know. It's not there, you know. You just literally
Yeah.
get to show up as you are, unfiltered, and just kind of like boom baka boom pak. There you go.
I mean, sometimes I like to put on like I will dress up a little bit more than I would normally do. Just because it just but you build a different confidence. You're just like you're getting ready to shoot kind of thing. Where I used to just be like in the moment, if I looked kind of raggedy that day, that's just how I looked that day. But I just had the feeling just to move. You know, it's not really what my face looks like. It's about my movement. Whereas TikTok, it's like, okay, you are focusing a bit on your face, and that's something that I am working on is using my face a little bit more. So,
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, and the last question is, uh, what is inside Laray's heart right now?
oh, I'm like trying not to cry. Oh God.
One word.
I'm just gonna say love. Just, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I know. Just a little bit of a context for those that are watching or listening to this. We spent like a whole hour talking. You know, just kind of through life stuff, and
And it's the best way I can define it. It's just a whole lot of love. It really just
yeah,
it never goes away.
yeah. Love hurts, but it also heals. It's love saves, love defies, love triumphants. You know, love is really what keeps us alive. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. Cheer up, my friend. You got this.
Well,
You
you got
got
a
this.
super deep question. Jeez.
I know. I know.
Ah,
Yeah, that is
goodness
the
gracious.
this is the podcast where we really just go. It's funny because I think I was telling my friend about this recently, how like I did like it took me 3 years to create something under 10 days, and I had like little to no idea of what the format was going to be, especially how long it was going to be. It just ended up being that all these conversations, they're conversations that have lasted like over an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, it feels right too. You know, it doesn't feel like I have to like, oh, I have to hit an hour and a half. It's just like literally giving people the space and the opportunity to be able to be seen and to be heard. You know, I think there's really something powerful in that. So yeah, so thank you
Yeah.
again for being here, my friend. I know that you've been going through some stuff, and I super appreciate you for being here. Okay, so on that note, we're gonna move forward then into the main body of the interview. So my first question is, who is Laray?
Um, Apologies if my nose is stuffy, but
ASMR.
Laray is just um I'm Laray is just a source of light that's just she is a light that never, I guess, it never lets out. Um, and Laray is just full of emotions. She's a Philly person. She's all about feeling and uh,
This is why you and I
feeling.
are good friends. We're both feelers.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend yesterday. We had a really deep conversation about like knowing your personalities, like taking the test or whatever, and we figured out that we vibe together so well because we're so feely, like that's a part of our personality. And but yeah,
Do you know what your type is? Your Myers-Briggs personality?
I don't know. It came off
Like the
like a as a
letters?
number, as a number.
Oh, a number. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Mine is, I'm gonna send you the link after. I mean, I get the feeling that you're probably an INFJ, introvert. I forget what N is. F is feeling, and then J is judging. I think N is intuitive. I forget. I could be wrong, but
I think the main one is that I think a helper or a giver. Uh,
mm-hmm.
that's like the main, like I'm the host, I guess. Um,
Mm.
but yeah. Laray is an artist. She likes to just create no matter what it is. And I create how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I love about you, which is I think why we've ultimately connected.
Yeah. So I don't just create just to make a product. I create my experiences, or just, just hoping that somebody can feel what I'm feeling. I mean,
Yes.
that's what art is.
Yeah. Yeah, which is very much why life, which is very much why art heals. It really has that healing and therapeutic power to it, because a lot of times, and I don't know why, although now I understand why, some of the best arts are created from the greatest place of pain.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's not a place that a lot of people can share, and I think it's a special thing for people that are vulnerable enough to just
Oh,
share that part of themselves.
that's
Um,
beautiful.
I know it's scary for me a lot of the times to be able to share such a
Girl, it's
deep.
scary for every. I think it's safe to say it's scary. It's scary for
Yeah,
everyone. It's really scary for
so,
everyone.
but it's definitely healing. It feels a lot better, especially when somebody like tells you that they got something from it. That's really what makes me feel like 10 times more better, is like when you know you impacted not only yourself but somebody else.
Mhm.
It's like you're saving somebody but not really saving somebody.
You are really saving
But,
somebody.
but I know. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm a giver, I'm a helper. I want to always save other people.
Okay.
So,
Nice. Thank you. That was pretty beautiful. I am so appreciative of how you literally answered the question the way it was meant to be. Who is Laray versus what is Laray?
oh
So
yeah.
thank you for that. Okay. Next question. How did we meet?
We met, well, I saw you at SCPA, so we like gave you to. I don't even know if you actually saw me, but I feel like I
I
saw
saw
you.
you. No, I
Okay,
saw you. Well, walking,
okay.
passing by, like
Yeah, I
many
was like,
people.
oh, what's going on? I remember seeing you like in a rehearsal or class or something, and I was like, oh, what's that? Um, but we didn't like meet or talk till like SDSU. So, which is crazy because I didn't think we were gonna like cross paths like that.
I know.
Even though I know your sister, she was in my grade in SCPA. Um,
Mhm.
so it's
That is,
quite it's like almost like fate in a way. Friendship fate.
it is
We're,
because.
we're
Uh huh. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I said we were meant to reconnect somehow or cross paths somehow.
Yeah, and finally meet. It's funny because
Yeah.
I was supposed to transfer to SDSU 2014, but I got rejected. And yeah, actually, I was supposed to transfer. I did apply to transfer at SDSU in 2014 as a comm major, communications major.
Mhm.
I didn't get in, so I'm like, okay, one more year, you know. And then that's when I finally transferred. And just to kind of piggyback on what she was talking about, um, this was like fall 2015, and we had just done the um, not done, but we were about to do the placement test, which is what um, all dance majors go through at the beginning of the school year, so you can be placed on where you're at level wise, or where they feel like you should be at. And I just remember like going up the Peterson gym, super, like, I think there's like 100 steps up there.
Oh my
you know
gosh.
and I just remember being like, I recognize you in your long hair, getting into your feels. And I was like, hey, it's her. And
Um,
the rest was history.
yeah, it's so weird. You did came, so I must have been like a sophomore when you came in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was 23 years old when I transferred, I believe. Yeah.
yeah.
2015. Yep, 23. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because at 23 I felt so old already. And now that I'm 28, I feel like so young, you know?
I feel so old. Well, I feel like I'm always a kid at heart, like I'm always, I'm still active, like I'm healthy. So I don't feel like old yet, but there's certain things that makes me feel old, and I'm like, oh. I think when I'm teaching, I feel old sometimes because I'm like, my body, it's not gonna be the same anymore.
Yeah, it's never going to be the same, but it doesn't mean that it can't be better. Doesn't mean that we can't
True.
um evolve and become better, like actually better, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. Okay, so my next question is, please tell us a little bit about who Laray was as a child growing up.
Laray, as a child growing up, was a very like a she was very active. Um, Not to say like I was always into sports, but I just always like moving around, playing around, jumping on trampolines.
Mm-hmm.
Just a mover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, she was a kid. She was enjoying life. Even though life wasn't always the best at times, but I think, um, low key miss being a kid sometimes.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least the simplicity of things, and
Yeah. Not having to
yeah.
worry about stuff. Yeah, she was a very playful kid. She did whatever the heck, you know. I remember I was hula hooping in the middle of my street of my grandma's house. It's kind of like a little like side street.
Where were
Um,
you in the world? Where were you in the world this time of your life?
this time I was in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So before I moved here, um, I don't know, maybe I was like 4 or 5, pretty young. But yeah, I was hula hooping, and I remember this person came up and was like, "Oh, can I take a picture of you for the newspaper?" And obviously, I was like, stranger danger, and I was like, "Well, let me go ask my grandma or whatever." And but yeah, strangely enough, I think she still has the picture. So, but that
Girl,
was
that is foreshadowing your career
it's so
as a
weird. So I have a hula
model.
hoop picture. Yeah, an old newspaper.
Maybe we need to recreate your hula hoop photo shoot.
Oh my gosh. I have
I think that'd
two
be
different
cool.
hula hoop pictures. I have one when I moved here, where I'm sitting on the trampoline that my grandpa took. And then I had
Hmm.
the super old, the newspaper one where I was just in the middle of the street. So it's
That's
weird.
beautiful. You already had like proof. You already had evidences that you are indeed, meant for greatness. As a young kid, like you already had those signs, and somehow along the way, you know, sometimes it gets lost, and we have to rediscover that. You know, actually, would you mind, if it's okay with you, just talking a little bit about your experiences like growing up? Because I remember you've told this to me, but I would love for you to share this with our viewers, so they know, so they get a context of like what you've had to go through as a young kid.
Um, as a kid growing up, like I mentioned before, I was born with a birthmark on my face, um, which was due to birth. I had my mom's umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and my
Hmm.
head. Um, so that's I've always been, I guess, kind of unique. Um, I have always been bullied and judged by how I looked. Um, it's it's something you gotta like. I guess you live and you learn through it. You kind of like,
We grow through it.
yeah, but it. I would say I'm lucky enough to be able to take what my obstacles were as
Hmm.
as growth, as something to grow into or to grow better into, instead of taking it as something where I never really fully live life because I'm
Hmm.
so haunted by what other, everybody's saying, Um, so yeah, growing up, just, always had people, look at you differently. Um, I know that financially it hasn't always been the greatest, but I do
Hmm.
feel like I'm very blessed to where I am right now, thanks to my mom and my dad. And fun fact, which I tell a lot of people because I think it's very interesting, because I feel like it's like part of my like, I don't even know what to say, there's a meaning behind it, of having three different dads growing up.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like when you have such a distinct, like, interesting father figure, male figure in your life, it definitely impacts you in a certain way.
Hmm.
So I've had my biological dad, of course. Unfortunately, he left when I was really, really young. So I have no idea if he's still alive to this day. Um, my second dad, who I would say he's like my real, real dad, just because he taught me like everything when growing up. Uh, like,
Hmm.
tying your shoes, skateboarding, all that stuff. He brought out the tomboy in me and all that stuff. And that's when I had my brother came into my life. Unfortunately, he passed away through drug addiction. Um,
Sorry.
and now I have my stepdad now. Um, and another brother came into my life, so I have two younger brothers. Um, and my stepdad is great and all. We've had our issues, we've had our rough patches, which you have with a lot of parents, especially someone you who was like a stranger to you.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's something interesting about me because every time I tell people, they're just like, what? Same mom, but three different dads. um,
Mhm.
I just feel like it's always something that's like, it's definitely, uh, it's had an impact in my life just because it's like,
Yeah.
just how it has an impact on my brothers. It's like growing up either without a dad or with a dad. Or three dads. It's definitely there's an impact. Um,
Mhm.
so that's why I feel like personally for me, I've always had a struggle when it comes to male figures in my life.
Mm.
Um, but you know,
Yeah. I'm curious then how, because I know that at some point all of this led you to dance as a young kid,
yes.
and
So
how you actually just kind of ran with it, you know?
um, before I moved here when I was 9, so before I moved to California, uh, I was living in Pennsylvania for a while with my
Mm-hmm.
grandma, or my aunt, um, and there was a class that my mom was taking at this dance studio at the time. It was like I don't know if it was strictly hip hop, but it was a hip hop class that she was taking.
Mm-hmm.
Her and my Uncle G, was taking. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to join." And little old me was like, "Let me just jump in,
I know the
whatever."
little kid's always trying to take the spotlight. Just kidding.
And I did take the spotlight.
And yes, you did. Yep.
The teacher was like, "This girl is getting the moves better than you guys," and she like pulled me into the front and everything. It was so funny. But no, that was when I first experienced a dance class, and I just was a little kid at the time, didn't think too much about it. But my mom was like, you have something, just you got that choreography so quickly, that's talent right there. Um, and then I guess I got my first like scholarship to like take ballet classes there because financially it's expensive for dance. So I was able to like get a little ballet training. But unfortunately, it didn't last too long. I guess the studio just disappeared. Um,
Yeah. Couldn't
Also,
sustain it financially, probably.
yeah, especially Pennsylvania is such a small state. Like where it
Hmm.
was, I just feel like it wasn't a big enough crowd to like get people to take
Yeah, I mean, well, I
dance
mean,
there.
especially back then when you were young, it's
Yeah, things
like
were
the
things were
art.
different.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm
different.
sure, yeah. Um, yeah. I also too, my mom was just like, she just wanted to make sure like if it is something that I'm really into, that she's gonna invest for. But I didn't know at the
Hmm.
time. I was a kid. I was just like, dance is just fun. But
Hmm.
I remember watching So You Think You Can Dance at my first time, and I was like, ooh, I want to do that.
Hmm.
I want to be like them on TV. Um, yeah, we moved. I think what helped is the fact that we moved here. There's
Hmm.
just better opportunity here, dance wise. Um, I first started
How
off,
how old were you when you moved to
I
California?
was like 9, turning 10.
Okay.
Um, I first just started out in like studios, just trying them out. Uh, Rubio's was like one of them, even though I know it's a food place too, but it's
Yeah.
also a dance place. That was the first experience of like a competition type vibe of dance background.
Hmm.
Because competition dance is it's entertaining basis. Like it's very about strictly technique, I guess it's like performance, all that stuff. So I,
Spectacle,
buy,
spectacle.
buying costumes and having to look a certain way. And I remember performing at the Del Mar Fair for the first time. I also performed, I think, I forgot what that ice skating rink place is called. But they had a theater there, and I remember performing there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, but it wasn't the best place for me. I got bullied there.
Oh
Um,
no.
Unfortunately, I don't really know why. It's you grow up, you deal with stuff. I just remember like probably why I didn't always love ballet, just because you know you have to be a certain way, you have to look a certain way. Um, I just remember like the teacher was like my only friend because everybody else didn't want to stand by the bar next to me and like mess with my
Mm,
shoes and stuff. It was just like, it's tough. Um, and I just didn't really like the competition type
mm-hmm.
of dance. I don't want to compete for money. I don't want to compete with my friends. Um, But, I did some really cool performances. That was fun. I remember I did a hip hop performance where I had to like wear all black and wear like a flashlight on my forehead and like dance in the dark. It was pretty intense. Um,
Mm.
and
I've
I've
done a
met
piece like
some,
that too in college.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I met some really cool people there too. The older I got, I mean, I was there for maybe a little bit. Um, and financially it was just expensive. Um, But yeah, I didn't really, really know for sure that dance was something
Mm-hmm.
until SCPA, which I didn't know SCPA even existed. So I thank
Mm-hmm.
my mom
How
for
did that
that.
happen? Yeah.
Um, she told me about it because I was like, I want to go to a performing arts high school because High School Musical at the time, the Disney
Yes,
Channel.
yeah. Which is the
I was like,
reason why I got to dance too. That
yeah, that was
movie in
another thing
2006.
too.
Yeah.
Uh, that movie, Cheetah Girls, was something that
Yes,
always
Cheetah Girls too. Yeah.
inspired me. I was like, I want to do
By the same
that.
choreographer too, which is crazy. Kenny Ortega. Kenny Ortega, if you ever watch this, hire us over here. We'll work for you. Kenny,
um,
Kenny.
but yeah, I didn't know about SCPA, and then my mom told me about it, and she was like, "Yeah, you just audition." So I auditioned, but then she said that we had to take like a raffle or something. Like you
Lottery,
can't get
yeah.
in if you're like out of the area, like you
The
lived out of the
district,
area.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
district, yeah. So we were definitely out
Yeah.
of the district.
Hmm.
But they pulled my mom's ticket and even I
It
passed the
was
audition
fate.
and
It
it
was
was
destiny.
crazy.
It was
I
meant for
felt
you.
very, very lucky. So SCPA
Yeah.
was like it's
Life
crazy. I
changing.
don't know. I don't know where I mean, I probably would have just went to Grossmont. But
Hmm.
who knows how my journey would have been,
Hmm.
starting off somewhere else. Um, but yeah, as a CPA, just like it was a whole different experience that I was getting. Taking all these different genres of classes, learning about, you know, how to be a professional dancer and the history of
Yes.
dance and all
Yes.
this, stuff that, because before I'm just like, dance is dance, but it's like, no, there's this whole huge,
It's
legendary background that it's been here for years. And finding my love for Fullerton and not Fullerton, Lamone and modern and knowing what improvisation was. Um,
that there
and
is more to dance than like spectacle, than competition dance, which is crazy to note that kind of just fast forwarding just a little bit to like college, whereas a lot of freshmen who come into at least my experience from SDSU, just seeing the shock of like modern dance. What's postmodern? You know, but
yeah,
but go but excuse me. But please go ahead, continue. Excuse me. Let me say that one more
Yeah.
time. Please
Um,
continue.
we definitely got a good experience at SCPA because it was very, I guess it was modern based. Um,
Hmm.
you got pretty much a bit of everything. You had hip hop like after school,
Oh yeah,
jazz,
yeah. Hip hop was after school.
ballet. Yeah, hip hop was after school.
wasn't part of the curriculum yet. Yeah.
Modern, all different types of modern. I definitely you had the improvisation part, which was like
Who's your
also kind of like dance making in a way.
hmm Who's your favorite teacher? Did you have any mentors at SDSU, SDSU, SCPA?
SCPA.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Miss L, Miss Lemaitre, I believe her name is Miss L. I don't know if you
Oh
know
yes,
her.
no, I think I met her once. Oh wait, no, I met her at the Fullerton Limon Dance Intensive that I did. She was on the
Mm.
advanced group, but we
Yeah,
didn't
she.
because we weren't in the same group, so we didn't really get to talk. But she's my
Uh,
youngest sister's teacher, and I like hear her voice like since they've
mm,
like kind of been on Zoom, and I'm like, she's amazing. I wish I had her as a
yeah,
teacher.
yeah. I had her.
Lemetria, call me. Just kidding.
Lemaitre, Miss L.
Just kidding.
Um, yeah, I mean, she came and then she like disappeared for a bit and she came back.
Oh, that's good that she had a place to come
Excuse me.
back to. Just kidding.
But no, she just, she really just, I guess saw something in me and just, um, she pushed me to keep going and to keep doing what I'm doing and all that stuff,
Hmm.
I remember I had my first like solo with her dancing in like the trolley stations and stuff. Um,
Nice.
she just never made me feel like I needed to be like somebody else, She was just like,
Hmm.
you be yourself. You have your own talent, your own um, passion and stuff like that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
all the teachers were great. I just felt like she just stuck with me more, um,
Hmm.
even though she disappeared and came back.
Yeah.
Um,
Then
um, yeah.
I'm curious. So then, what were your thoughts? Kind of. So when we're gonna fast forward to graduation. So when you graduated to from SCPA in 2015, because you were the same class as my younger sister, what were your thoughts moving forward? Like, did you know that you wanted to go to dance? Did you know for sure that you wanted to major in dance? What was that journey like?
I knew, um, I would say most of my life that doing what I love to do and graduating, like finishing school, was my main goal in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to be like the different generation in my family. A lot of females, didn't finish school, and and I just wanted to take on um, that goal is to be the change, be the one that gets to do what they love to do, their passion, and to finish school. So dance was, I always felt like, even if I didn't do it as a career, I wanted it to be a part of my life somehow, way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, as going to it, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is where I go from here. It was like, all right, I went from like beginner level SCPA, or beginner intermediate, and now it's like I'm a professional now ish. I'm getting there. I'm getting to
Mm-hmm.
the prima ballerina status. Not really, but this is where I take on um, everything that I've learned, and
Get to apply it.
to really, yeah, to really build myself as a dancer and to like see where things go there. Um,
Yeah. Nice, nice. Would you mind touching up just a little bit on your journey then at SDSU? At SDSU, what was your experience like, especially going from SCPA, having that experience at SCPA, then to like SDSU, so
SDSU,
which is San Diego State University, by the way, for those that are wondering.
yeah, San Diego State University. As I say a lot, I think my life was full of a lot of luck and just kind of like fate in a way.
Mhm.
SDSU, I honestly didn't think I was gonna go to SDSU. I didn't think it existed, just like I didn't think SCPA existed. I really wanted to go to
Second time.
Fullerton.
Yeah.
Fullerton was the place I really wanted to go to because my heart for like modern Lamone and stuff like that. Um, but SDSU, I really enjoyed it because there was just so much. I remember when I got there and I saw Leslie and Jess. They were like doing
Madame
like a
Leslie Citus.
they were doing like contact improv or something like that. And I was like so drawn to how they were moving with each other. And I was just like, what is that? And
Yes.
I was just excited. I was like, okay, there's so much more that I don't know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I remember like freshman year, I saw like guest artists come in, and people like the older kids got to take on that side and do the rehearsals and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, I want to like eventually um, be part of a guest artist, like be able to work with them. I know we did it a bit at SCPA, um, but I was like, I wanted to continue that because that's something that really changes your life because that's where you can get like scouted and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I remember um, I what was I gonna say? SCU just like it's so hard to explain. It's just like it just took me in so many different directions that like I just didn't think that
Mm-hmm.
it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um,
It was truly
I
magical. Yeah.
it kind of just felt like this was my time. This is what I've always wanted. Even like I know I loved SCPA, but there was opportunities that I wanted for myself. I wanted
You were finally
more.
given opportunities to be seen and
Yeah,
to be seen
I
as you
wanted to
are
be seen.
versus,
I mean,
yeah.
not to say I didn't, but I didn't until like senior year. And I
Yes.
was just like, I wanted more than just a little, like I had a little bit of a taste of it. And it was just like, still that whole, like, you have to look like somebody else. And it was just like, I want to be seen for me, like, I just want to, like, somebody likes me for the dancer that I am, not because I'm portraying somebody else, like, or because my leg is so high. It's like, I just want people to see me as me. Um, and that's what I was getting at SDSU. It was like I was getting all this attention, I
The
guess.
validate the
The
validation that
validation, yeah. It wasn't even just like, oh,
the
I was the
validation that
favorite.
you are enough. There you go.
Yeah,
Just to make that clear. The validation that you are enough. You don't need to be any more. That you as a single individual entity, artist, is beautiful. You are already beautiful as you are versus the notion that comes with being in dance is being able to conform to fit into a mold, to get lost, to possibly lose yourself, and trying to be someone that you're not, because I can relate to that too. But like I've never really fit the mold of someone that's like, what it what is, I guess, if we're really talking about what it's what it's like to be a dancer, not like what it looks like to be a dancer, because dance is something that you see, or at least from an audience's perspective, dance is something they watch. And I feel like for me, I
Yeah.
didn't fit. I really had a hard time fitting that mold until I found modern dance. Which I feel like, yeah, I actually just get to be myself, and I get to take my life experiences, my humanity, my fears, everything that I am into this art form that is
Mm.
so beautiful yet so opposite from ballet, jazz, whereas you really don't get to incorporate yourself so much into those dance forms.
Yeah.
Yes. So to follow up then with uh graduating from SDSU, I know that you had your journey to like really being seen, being validated that you are enough. And then what happened your final semester at SDSU, which I feel like is super pivotal.
Senior year of college, it was a big year for me. You're kind of like really taking that, you're passing that stepping stone in life. Um, it's the first time I get to create my own senior capstone, like my own choreography, my own piece, which was so stressful because I just,
Yeah.
was just like, oh my
Well,
god.
I feel like it's stressful for a
um,
lot of us. Mine was stressful too. What was the name of your senior dance capstone again? Your piece in
do
college?
I remember what it's called? I think my piece was called "I've Grown Out of You" or something like
Mm,
that. Like I've grown out of you.
mm.
Um,
I remember there were a lot of roses, petals, because remember
yeah,
you guys asked me to come and photograph.
yeah. I was excited because I just, I was like, yeah, it's my time to create. But
Mhm.
still, it was just a whole different level of skill. Yeah, yeah, I created my senior piece. It was, just a meeting of you're growing out of, your little self into a bigger flower. Um,
Mhm.
and
Blossoming metamorphosis.
yeah.
There you go.
Um, Senior year, besides, the senior capstone, it was very tough for me. It wasn't the best year. Um, I got really sick, which scared me because I've never been super sick in my life.
Sick
Um,
with what?
I was born with asthma, so I got really sick with my asthma. I got pneumonia. Um, so I was just like, my body was kind of like falling apart.
Mm.
Um, and I just remember like I just walking and talking was just so hard for me to do. And I remember the one time I like dragged myself to urgent care, and the lady was just like, I am so surprised that you were able to get here because your oxygen is so low. And I was just like, what? I felt it in myself. Like I just was like, I can't walk up these goddamn stairs. Like I can't do anything right now. And I was on the oxygen machine for like, it felt like forever. But I was just like, wow, my entire life I've been healthy. Asthma hasn't like really affected me that much.
Oh, thank God.
Especially throughout
Yeah.
dance, like I know dance you have to do a lot of stamina, and I never really needed an inhaler that much. Um, so yes, I got really sick out of nowhere, and I just I couldn't dance the way I used to dance, and a lot of managers at the time were, could see that and weren't very happy about it. Um, and I had other things outside of school. I've had, my grandmother was really sick at the time, and I couldn't really focus on myself. I really was worrying about her. Um, it was just it's scary, just part of life. Because you could die from an asthma attack, and I just got really really scared. And I didn't feel like I had much support when it came to SDSU in that sense. I kind of
Mhm.
was just on my own, just figuring out like, okay, I'll just do what I need to right now. Just graduate. That's all I really wanted to do, like, and it sucked that dance at the time felt like not super fun to me. It just felt like I just needed to pass, like homework, like I just needed to do it. And I
Mhm.
hated that feeling, something you loved for so much. And now you're like, I just need to do it for credit. I just need to pass. Yeah, just the people I thought supported me at the time didn't really support me and was judging me for things that, it's like when people don't really know what you're going through and they just assume that you're just not trying anymore. And it's like, I literally can't be 100%. Like, I don't think anybody should be 100% every single dance class, like be,
Have you
have
have
I
you been
what?
able have you ever been able to tell them that?
Um,
Like to the
I remember
degree that you're
writing about
telling
it.
me this?
I,
Writing about it
you
where?
know,
I'm curious.
like, how you're supposed to have a survey at the end of when you finish your classes?
Oh, ooh, the review for the teachers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knew who it was. Um, but yeah, I mean, I talked about it on my YouTube. I talk about it to a lot of people. I don't think I've directly meant talk to their faces about it.
Mm.
I have written surveys about it. I have said, I just wish that, like, yeah, the dance department there is great and all, but when it came down to, really being the as a professor, you're trying to help people grow as an artist, as a dancer. You can't just throw them to the side just because they're not, who they were 3 years ago. People lose
Yeah.
potential. People lose potential once in a while, and it doesn't always mean that I'm not trying anymore. People
Mhm.
grow, and and it's also like uh with all the the validation I was getting in the beginning of SDSU and the attention I was getting, it was a lot of pressure of being the dance department, being the dancer that they want me to
The prima
project.
donna that you've always
Yeah,
wanted to be.
but at the same time, it's like I didn't want to be the person they wanted to show me off as. Like I just didn't feel like um I don't know. It was just like I don't want to do that. Um,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah, it's great and all, like to be on posters and to be able to get all these networking stuff, but
And I'm
I don't
sure
like it when people come to me and say, "Oh, they want to use my potential," and then
then when
like
they're done with it, they're like, okay, you know.
yeah, like that's something I experienced, the non-professionalism, you know,
Yeah, I
canon
mean,
canon.
just like you, I also have my own thoughts about kind of not necessarily the care during, but I think it's more so the aftercare that happens
Mhm.
when you graduate. It's almost like when you graduate, and this is just me speaking from my experience. It's like, and this is not all the professors that were there because I've had some
Yeah.
professors that I've like stayed in touch with, amazing people. While there are others that I'm calling out. Yes, I'm calling you out straight up. Who made you feel like who definitely showed you that they didn't favor you. like during your time there, and especially after, because they were so quick to just like, okay, you're done. Which leads me to my next question. Um, how have you been able to adjust into the real world? Because I know that, and I do want to kind of incorporate your advocacy for self-help, being unapologetic, unfiltered. I know that you started the series on YouTube called Unfiltered. If you can just kind of briefly talk about how you were able to like combine all of that into your advocacy that you're doing now because of your experiences.
Um, Honestly, I just stayed true to myself. I did what my gut, like what my heart wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never really put myself in a position where I didn't feel like that was something that was gonna, I don't know, just I just did stuff that I enjoyed. Um, it's hard, but I worked with a lot of different people outside of school. I was able to continue, performing, and it started to bring me back, like the love back that I had for dance. I always am working with Mario and, those
Mario
wonderful,
Hymes.
just stuff like that. And um, it's just that type of environment, that type of place where you're just like, yeah, I'm doing what I know is what I want to do. I feel good about this. I am me in this position. I'm not forcing myself to be here. Um, I get to present the dancer that is me. Um,
You don't have to have the feeling like you have to, or we have to, or I have to like do something a certain way or act a certain kind of way just to be able to please them, you know?
yeah, yeah. I did a lot of like mini projects with people outside of graduating, which was really fun. Um, and I was just figuring out, okay, so where do I want to go? I'm, currently still kind of figuring it out. I don't really see myself like part of me is like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll eventually join a company, but I want to be able to like fully feel like that's the company for me. Um, but I also have so much heart in like teaching, I guess, just
Mm-hmm.
creating with other people and to help younger kids like find their love for dance and to dance just in general, just because like just to see kids do something that is so creative, and some kids don't even realize it, that they just have a like an automatic, like a natural talent for dance, even though they're probably like, nah, whatever. But I have like a few students where it's just like it's so natural to them, and it's so heartwarming to see that. um so yeah, I got very lucky again. um I was able to be a dance teacher for um a great friend of mine, May Powell. She opened
Yes.
up
Our
a dance
friend May
studio.
Powell,
So
also alumni
she
from
also
SDSU.
alumni. So she took me in, and I'm on the journey of creating myself as a dancer. Besides the training dancer I was, I'm I'm impacting little ones right now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Nice.
I'm learning like I'm learning to love dance again. you know, like
Mm.
loving it in different aspects, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And like I said, I
That's
always had
beautiful.
love and hate for it because, you know,
It put you
it can
through,
love you and
or
it can
us
hate
through
you.
hell and back. To
Exactly,
keep
you
wanting to
know?
come back to it because it's just a part of us, and even it's a part of us, and it's also we're not fully defined by it, which I think is the biggest probably differentiator, is not feeling the need to be fully consumed by our identities, you know,
Mm.
solely to it, you know. So moving forward, I'm curious, where are you? I know that you're involved, you're heavily, we have heavily, you're I wouldn't use the word heavy. Okay, I'm just gonna run with it. You're heavily involved with TikTok and Instagram. Um, would you mind just briefly just kind of talking about that, like going from professional dance to TikTok and Instagram?
Um, like I said, I am on the journey to really accept myself 100%, uh, finding love in different aspects of dance. Um, and just, I think I'm just trying to delve into like the confidence in myself.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I get confident, but it's like it's a different type of confidence that I feel like I kind of lacked a lot. Um,
Hmm.
Even though I had all those great opportunities, I'm building this different type of confidence in myself, um, and just diving into being more creative, just because I like being creative and I like just, I don't know, doing funky stuff, I guess. Just
Yes.
kind of just getting out of the normal, I guess, if
Hmm.
that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, taking advantage of these platforms that really promote self self uniqueness,
Yeah,
um, advocacy, love, help, all of these things. And as we wrap this up, I just really want to say that I'm super proud of you for really being able to show up, and being able to show up as you are, who you are, where you're at, where you want to be, giving inspiration for many, many people like myself to just keep going too, especially when one is going somewhere different than everyone else is going, being that sheep that like starts to stray
yeah,
away and everyone is walking the same way and you're like, I don't want to go that way,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess my fine. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that using TikTok and Instagram to present myself as me, really showing off what I want to show off, I guess. Also, I think dance needs to be recognized a lot more, and TikTok definitely has helped recognized, even though some, in ways that you're like, is that really dance? But yeah, it was just an easier way for me to just get used to just doing, just showing
Yeah.
different types of myself that I like to just share. That there's not just only
Mhm.
one type of dance. There's dance is just full of color and exploration, and just it's just full of so many different things, and I just like that you're able to just show that off because I
Right.
want to be able to share with somebody like I always say like body positivity. You see me, people are like, what do you mean body positivity? Um, yes, I
Body
try to evoke.
positivity is not body negativity. That's what it means.
Yeah, I body positivity for me because you know I am showing my full being when I dance, and
Mhm.
you could be so hard on yourself, um, through that. And that's what I mean about body positivity, is just like loving my full self in that. Not just like
Mm.
did a really great turn. It's like I love the whole me there. Um, so yeah, it's just something that I try to just I just do. People are enjoying what I do there. I'm getting like younger people that were so scared to dance to start creating content, and like older ladies doing some like crazy hip hop stuff, and I'm trying to dive into some stuff that I'm like didn't really think I had the confidence to,
You've
especially
been
as a
dancing
woman.
together again.
Yeah, it's
You've
just
also given me a reason to go back to dance too, even if it's just through TikTok for now. So
hey, it brings back the good old just doing. It's just enjoying
yes,
whatever the hell you're doing, even if you
no
leave. But
expectations. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. On that note, is there anything else you would like to say or share before I ask you the one final question for the interview? Express.
Um. Well, I'm gonna show you my cup I just got.
Oh, she got up. Is it
So
your Hello Fresh? No, I'm just kidding. Hello
I
Fresh.
got this cup. It
Is
says
that
"Love
oh that is that?
yourself." It's a little like the Korean whatever the heart.
Yes.
You can see that it says "Love yourself." This is for Valentine's. Coming up. Now I've never had a Valentine, but I don't believe that
Oh, me
you
neither. I
don't
know.
need a Valentine to celebrate Valentine's Day. Um,
Hmm.
so, as you know me, I'm all about self love. Um, and I'm currently just on the journey of being me, continuing to enjoy life through this tough time and trying to motivate myself to get into the creating. I just
Hmm.
bought a new camera, and I just motivated myself, building the confidence to
Yes.
just do the stuff that I know I want to do but too scared to do. um, I know a friend of yours is I will be collaborating with for a music video in the future, so
Yes.
my first ever music video, which is exciting. um,
I think that does
so
I think that
yeah.
does bring such an important sorry, I just really
No,
wanted to
keep going.
say that I think that does bring an important point in um I don't know because it's like we will go through many stages of like we're gonna grow and then we hit a stunt and then we're gonna grow again, then we hit a stunt, then we're gonna grow
Yeah.
again. And I think it's like the willingness to I think there is such great power in collaboration, working with other people, growing together, reinventing yourself, which is where I'm at with my life now, trying to
Yeah.
find ways to reinvent myself. And as scary as it is, that's really the only way I think we will actually really get to where we aspire to be, if not much more. Is through
Yeah.
reinvention, rediscovering things about yourself, even if it means having to step away from the thing that we're doing at the moment, which for me is dance. I
Mhm.
myself decided to step away, but knowing that I love it enough and that it'll come back to me in due time, and that like more than 2.5 years later, like 3 years now, it is coming back,
Mhm.
and there is such beauty in letting go of something that you love so you could explore other parts of yourself,
Definitely.
yeah.
As you know me, I try to
Always
delve
changing your
into
hair. I'm just kidding.
always no, I'm so invested in just myself, invested in myself. But no, it really
Hmm.
it's just
Yes.
especially during this time where we're yielding into, life,
The
it's
new
the time
normal.
to it's the time to really I've always been working on myself, but this really is putting a pause on like really putting the time. Yeah, if I'm gonna dye my hair, I'm sure as hell going to, because I've always wanted to, and I feel like a different me Um, and it's just yeah, I'm just on the journey of just really, really doing, I guess. The always, no
We're gonna
matter,
go
I
with
always
that.
say, I said, no matter what year it is, I am always loving myself. Like, oh, there's always self-love, no matter the year. Self-love never ends. Um, it's just something I just want to just say. You know, people always say, "Oh, new year, new me." It's like, well, yeah, maybe a new me, but I'm always me, but I'm, you know, continuing to love myself
Yeah,
every year.
a better
So,
me.
uh,
Yeah.
a evolved me, I guess.
Yes. Level 5.
I don't know how I feel about the word better. I'm still like, I don't know. I don't feel like you have to always be better, but you could be healthier. You can have,
Mm, I hear you. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. A more lovable you. There you go.
there you
Okay.
go.
Yes.
This
Lovable. Okay, so my final
level.
question for you is, what is the legacy that Laray wants to leave behind?
The legacy I want to leave behind. Ooh. Um, I don't know, just the beauty of being just I would just say fall in love with your existence and just fucking live your life. You know, just fucking love yourself and no matter what, just take hold of yourself. Feel something no matter what it is. I want you to feel something. I want you to know what love feels like, even if you're getting it outside of somewhere else. Uh, and really just, I know it's hard, but I think people you gotta do what you love. You gotta find something that your heart enjoys. And I
Mm,
know it's hard because of the life that we live in, where it's all about survival and all that stuff, but the true feeling of happiness is when you're doing something you enjoy and you're really feeling uh like a human, you know? You're
mm.
not stuck.
Human
So
being versus human doing.
yeah, trust yourself and you know, life has its path for you. Just continue to do you. So I
Mm.
guess that's what I'm leaving behind.
Yes, you will.
um,
You already have.
yeah.
Yeah. Aw. Thank you so much, my friend. I know yeah. Yeah, I mean, aside the good times that we always have, this is like also part of our friendship where we are always talking about the things of the things, the hard conversations, which I think,
Yeah.
if you're ever lucky to have friends who, are like that, who really help, who really help and play a role in your growth,
Yep.
so
You've
thank you.
definitely been a huge part of that in my life. You definitely have helped me grow. So I am very blessed to have you in my life. So I hope you know that you
Uh,
are like you're more than just a friend to me, you know. You're definitely
yeah.
my mentor and,
Oh.
so
Yay, Sappy, I love it.
Oh my
Eat it up, eat it up,
gosh.
eat it up. Okay, so on that note, Lorray,
Oh,
tell our viewers, people tuning in or listening, where they can find you, any projects that you're currently working on. This is the time to promote, girl. Go ahead, go, go, go. After you're done blowing your
yeah.
nose,
Quickly before my phone dies.
go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I am on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok at Laradiance, which is also the name of my YouTube. My Instagram is Dancing Ray of Light. You can see me there as well. I am working on, my portfolio, just creating. I will be collaborating in a music video, like I mentioned before, later this year. And I do hope to use this cup to
It
start
does
to
look like a jug.
continue my unfiltered series of, being yourself, loving yourself on YouTube. So I hope to get back into that. Um, but
What's the
yeah,
name of your YouTube?
my YouTube is Laradiance, which is also my TikTok. So
Nice. Okay.
Laraydince.
Yes. So on TikTok and on YouTube, she's Laradians, and on Instagram, she is Dancing Ray of Light.
Yeah, which is kind of what the meaning is of Laradians. Unfortunately, somebody had Laradians for Instagram, but I kind of like Dancing Ray of Light, so that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Think we made it. How do you
We
feel?
made
And like,
it!
how are you feeling? In just a bit, I know because your phone may die. So, how are you feeling?
Oh, yeah, the camera's like, I'm done.
Oh,
um,
really?
I feel good. I always feel really like kind of refreshed. Yes, it's exhausting to like be in your emotions, but um, it's definitely a healing process. It's a healing thing for me. So I feel really,
Mm.
really grateful to be here and to reconnect with you and to be able to share and you know,
To
I feel
embrace
very blessed.
the feels.
Yes. So Philip, I'm in my feels. Uh-oh. He's frozen.
Yes. Supremacy. Oh no. Oh no,
Soul
you're so good. You're
supremacy.
so
There you
good. So
go.
on that note,
Okay.
yes, before it ends, thank you so much again for watching Soul Supremacy, where we talk about all things unapologetic, all things passionate and in pursuit of, and we really truly appreciate you being here. And please let us know what you thought of this episode, your story, by commenting down below. And you can also follow us on the Soul Supremacy podcast on Instagram, in which you will see all things behind the scenes and all that fun stuff. And on that note, again, thank you so much, and see you next Friday at 7 p.m. with our next guest. Love you. There you go. There, the love sign.
The hearts.
Thank you. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
This podcast show is a product of Studio Penguino. For more information about advertising, please visit www.adrianpenguino.com.